How did you get rid of the cock and balls on the green? Did you try and make it into something else, like a beautiful butterfly?
I tell you what, at first I made it worse because what you do is you want to put like a sand on, like a top dress in, to let it heal. But by scratching that in, obviously you're showing it up even more.
So you've got a bright yellow sandy cock on your green.
No, I think it was more brown, the soil, but it's yeah, it was there for a while.
Today's guest is a groundsman, and he's called Terry. Welcome, Terry.
Thank you.
I understand you're a listener, are you?
Yeah, I've listened to every show.
Every episode of our show.
Yeah, every episode.
How many episodes have we done, Tom?
100-ish?
100 and zoom.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, over 100 would have been a better answer.
Right.
And we're still fantastically shit at it, which is wonderful. You got a favourite one?
We were literally discussing it with my other half. I think The Detective is right up there.
He was good one, yeah.
I really like that one.
Yeah.
But there's so many we were literally talking about, and I've forgotten half of them, all the ones near the start.
Oh, not that memorable then. big listener. Doesn't like them. I listen to every single episode. Think every one of them shit. That's what Terry's got. He said, I'm going to get on there and I'm just going to come and tell them the truth.
No, I don't know. There's been so many. There's probably loads that I thought, that's brilliant, and you just forget about them.
It's a good answer, Terry, I think.
It is good.
Answer.
Yeah. But I'm interested. What's the worst one you've listened to then?
I don't want to say because...
I don't want to say. It's
Write
fine.
it down, that bit of paper. See if we
He's
can get-
nervous. No, don't do this. We're not going to hold you. We're not going to
We'll
hold
just
you.
see. I'm not going to read it out.
I'm
We'll just see
interested for feedback. Is
yeah,
it?
because we've probably got one in mind, haven't we?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
I thought it was a bit serious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Some of the listeners are going to be like, "Oh, what the fuck are they talking about?" Oh, that's the intrigue.
But not
Tune in next week, and we will not tell you that either. Right. First question, my opening question is: how fast have you ever been on a lawnmower?
So it's more like the buggies, the RTVs.
Which is what?
It's sort of like a 4x4 sort of vehicle
Yeah.
used to go around, and you have stuff in the back.
Is that like a gator?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a gator. So there's so many different gators as well. There's bigger gators, smaller gators, but some of them can fly. Some of the older stuff back in the day, literally, is scary, like flying around corners. Because obviously you've got no doors, no windows or anything. And
It'd
it's
be
like
coming out the sides.
Yeah, I reckon you could flip them really easy.
Smile on Terry's face.
That smile hasn't stopped since he walked in. It's fucking brilliant. I know. Well, the minute he walked in, I was going to have fun today. This is fucking brilliant. And he's just going, yeah, we're getting that gator. Fucking hell, we could do some speed on that.
We've had a few accidents, so...
Oh, right. That's funny. Yeah, so fucking...
Lost two
Mate of mine,
colleagues.
yeah, broke my leg. Yeah, his arm's off and all that sort of like that.
Yeah.
So the gators are where the speed's at.
Yeah, they're like utility vehicles, basically what they're called. That's where the speed is at.
And the lawn, mind you don't really want the lawnmowers to go that quick, do you?
No, and if you're racing around on big lawnmowers, all the decks are, literally wobbling around, whacking. So it's too much weight for it. So you're damaging things if you go too quick.
What's your lawnmower setup, Joe?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Tom, because I've actually got a Atco GTX.
You went for the GTX?
Mm-hmm. The green one with the blades.
Sit on or push?
It's a sit on.
Is it?
No, very much a sit on. That was when we got the house. I went, I want to go get a lawnmower.
Price point?
Fucking hell! It was about $4,500, $5,000. I was blown away by that. Have I been mugged off, or is that like a reasonable price for a road-on mower?
I suppose for like a garden mower, it sounds like a pretty decent one.
It's a real shame, actually, Terry, that I came out with an Atco GTX and there wasn't a single bit of
Flicker.
impressed face
I've
that
heard
appeared.
of it. I've heard of it.
Yeah, but
it's more.
you're now saying, oh, you've heard of it in like, oh, yeah, it's a nice garden mower, but
It's,
not really.
it's a garden range.
Oh.
It's more of a garden range.
Patronising.
Yeah,
Like,
you're not impressed whatsoever.
Nah, like the big stuff, like you wouldn't obviously have in your garden. Unless
What's the creme de la creme of lawnmowers then?
I always knew them as Toro. Toro was like the biggest and best and the most expensive as well.
What we
Why-
talking cost-wise?
Go on.
For an average fairway mower, so you've got like 5 units on it, you're looking at about 80 grand.
80 grand.
Around that price. Obviously, it's like cars, everything's higher and lower.
What are you getting for your 80 grand? If Joe's sitting on this lawnmower and he's doing a quick 360, what's he seeing?
Well, it will be striped up lovely. Again, depends what you want, but if you want a cylinder mower, which is the best, sort of shortcutting grass, you're getting like rollers on it, brushes on it. So the brush cleans the rollers as you're going along.
Right, hang on. Why the fuck do you need a roller and a brush when you're cutting grass? All you got to do is cut the grass. You surely just need a blade. What's the rollers doing?
The rollers, they've got, well, you think if you're using them for sports,
Yeah,
so especially more golf course, things where you want a perfect surface.
yeah.
So you want that surface for the ball roll to be like perfect. You don't want any of them bumping along. You know, you think someone like on one of the big tournaments and they make a putt that's 5 foot and it bumps off. You know, everyone's going to be like, that shouldn't be doing that. You want that true roll is what they call it. And it's probably the same for other sports, certain sports like bowls, things like that. You want a perfect surface. So the rollers are basically creating that nice, firm, flat surface for you. And it's making it quicker as well. And then, so if you've got anything in the way, any sort of bits of soil, it's crushing it down. It'd be hopped into the bucket, well, box, whatever you want to call it.
I thought the rollers just were there to push the grass one way.
Well,
You know what I mean?
it's
So
helping it
so
stripe.
it pushes it. So that's
does-
what causes the stripes, is it?
You're striping it at the same time as well. So you're creating those stripes. So when you see like golf course, you see them all striped up. That's helping it as well. That's why you want to use cylinder mowers for helping. But you can buy rotary mowers that now stripe up as well.
What? Hang on, he's lost me. He's got me, but then you lost me. So cylinder. What's the difference between a cylinder and rotary mower?
Rotary is like what we call in the industry is more like a rough cutter. So it's like a big blade that's flat, and then that's just doing all the work like a big wide area.
Like an upside down helicopter.
It's usually like a fly mow.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's probably
And the
the
cylinder is what?
cylinder is the opposite way. So the blade's going over itself, whatever way
Like
you
a
want.
combine harvester.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean the
There you
blade's
go.
going over itself? How the fuck is that cutting? How's that cutting?
You have like
So if you've got a piece of grass about,
That's a very long piece of grass.
if you've got a piece
Yeah,
of grass
cut,
that's a
yeah.
couple of inches long,
yeah.
how on earth is it going to cut going vertically rather than horizontally?
It's going in a circle, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah, but hang on.
And-
There's my grass. Yeah,
You-
there's my grass.
you've
So
got-
you're holding your finger up, you're holding your index finger up in front of your face, Joe.
You've got a bottom blade as well, so it's crushing. There's a bottom blade that's flat,
Yeah.
and then the grass is like that, and it's getting trapped every time it goes like that.
So with your finger up in front of your face, Joe, I'm going to do do your finger. And then I'm gonna-
using
gonna-
the pen now. It's
All right.
more
Well,
appropriate.
I'll do the cylindrical mower coming in from the side. Terry, correct me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah, go
What
on.
am I, the mower?
You're the grass.
Yeah, that's it. That is it. And then
Cylindrical.
and the bottom blade's pinching
Oh wait,
it.
hang on. So I thought the blade was like that.
Straight. No, it's coming
Blade's like that, is it? So it's doing that.
well, it's going.
I thought
Yeah.
the blade was just going round like that way. So it's going to miss all the fucking blade. It's going to miss all the grass, and it's going to in between. Are you cutting anything? Oh, fucking idiot. There you go. That's that. Okay, so that's that one cleared up. Thank you very much.
And then on our one, we've got like you have 8 blades on one mower. So you've got 8 on just that gang. So there's 8 going round spinning at once, basically. So that's why you'll never miss a bit of grass. And the pace they're going at as well.
And that gets every bit of grass.
Yeah.
Right, well, that really fucks me off. I used to work at a turfing company, yeah?
Yeah.
And they had all these fields, funnily
Yeah.
enough, and they'd have their tractor with the mower attachments on or whatever. They'd be
Right.
going over it all, big fucking vast things. And my job, when we weren't doing barrowing between jobs, actually doing jobs on site, was sitting on the single man mower,
Yeah.
the rotary one with the
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
and going up and down this field in line like thing, because their mower wouldn't pick up like the thicker bits of grass
Right.
or like the the weeds or something, so that I had to just follow behind in this one-man single mower. You've got this fucking giant tractor, and then you just got this one-man single mower. But were they pulling my leg? You sit there giggling as if like they've fucking done you a good one there.
No,
Like go and jump start that chainsaw or something. Have they got me like that?
No, there is like, again, I'd say it's more going back to the cylinder mowers. So you get these things on grass we call stalks. They're like thick bits of grass. And once they get really thick and hardy, the cylinder mower, it almost like bounces around the cut. So when that starts happening, usually happens in the summer, we'll go and get, I don't know, one of the boys to go out there with a little single mower, pretty much what you've just said, and he has to cut them all down.
So it is a legit job.
It is a
It's
legit.
fucking shit.
Sounds like the sort of dog's bodies job as well, doesn't
There
it?
was no radio neither, mate, and it was before headphones. In fact, no, there were headphones. You know, it was like before.
Headphones have been existing. What did you think about when you were going up and down, Joe?
It was just so mind-numbingly boring. Can't remember what I was thinking about. Maybe I was singing lots of songs, seeing the occasional dog walker, seeing if they'd like be keen to spend time with me in the field.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know, that's the sort of stuff that would go through a young man's head, if I'm honest.
Terry, what do you think about?
Oh,
okay, same as Joe.
To be fair, I listen to podcasts and things like that.
Yeah, there he is.
Back in the day, obviously, there wasn't so many podcasts about, so you just have music in your ear and things like that. But it does distract you a little bit. It can distract you. And you don't want to have a wobbly line.
So you have to put a lot of concentration in getting these stripes right.
Yeah, the boys, like in the golf course industry a bit, you'll get a lot of crap from the boys if you start doing what I used to call like Beckhams and things like that.
Right,
you know?
so let's talk about these. Let's talk about the stripes. What different stripes can you get? Presumably you just get up, down,
Yeah,
crisscross.
yeah.
Concentric rings,
Pardon?
circles.
Concentric rings.
It's a circle.
I've seen it on.
No, I'm interested.
football
Sorry,
pitches.
Tay. I'm interested. What's a concentric ring, Tom? Concentric ring.
It's a circle.
Why have we said concentric ring then?
I don't know.
So circles.
It's a circle.
What other type? Any other types we've missed?
Not really. As I say, on the golf course, you're always doing really straight lines or following a fairway pattern, just to create that pattern. But football pitches, you see when you see them on the TV, they do sort of circles and all sorts like that now.
So the purpose, you've already touched on it, but just the purpose isn't just for looking good. It's actually got a purpose of making the surface nicer or pushing the grass in a direction.
Yeah, and no.
Oh.
But when you're doing it like cutting fairways for football pitches, it's for the look, isn't it?
Right.
It's for the TV viewers or people standing on a golf tee and looking down, seeing it all striped up. If it's not striped up and it is striped up, think of the one you'd rather play. Straight away, well, that one looks really nice. It's got all crisscrosses.
Yeah, but why? Why? I feel like that. I do when I see it. Oh, cool, that's nice. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Why?
Is it
Why would we
because-
prefer to go to that one?
Does it look better tended in our eyes, Joe? You're thinking this must be a better course or pitch because it looks like someone's really put care and attention to it. Because nature's not stripy, unless you're talking about zebras.
What? We're not talking about zebras. Why the fuck are zebras coming up here? Tigers.
Yeah, equally stripy. What do you think?
I don't know. I guess, yeah, it's just more aesthetic, isn't it? I thought it would have more of a purpose, but then I guess it's not. I'd probably do what I did one year when the training ground down in Guildford, it was a frosty morning, and the coaches' offices look out the window onto the pitches that we used to train at.
Yeah.
Like perfect bird's eye view of this pitch. And it was crack of dawn. I was there first thing, and I thought, fuck it. It was all that frosty dew, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna go out there and draw a giant cock and balls. So, and it took some effort to like start in a position and then scrape round. You know how you
What
do
were you using?
my feet, just scrape round, doing like as you do, is dragging your
Yeah.
feet in the shape and trying to think it without having. I'm not Neil Buchanan, mate. I didn't have the beauty of or the luxury of having these cameras as I was doing it.
Did you
I had
do
to
hair on the balls?
No hair. It
Any ejaculate?
we're talking that this knob was the size of a pitch, the entire pitch.
Really?
Fucking took me ages, mate. I ain't in there doing jizz marks or pubes. This is a prepubescent penis, giant penis, okay? And I've done it in the hope that it might get a laugh from the coaches later on. Not a single fucking one of them. Took me ages. Not a single one of them batted an eyelid as if to go, oh, yeah, this cock and ball. Maybe it's just me.
So
Sorry.
it wasn't you that done it on the golf course who worked out then? Someone scratched in a cock and balls on one of the greens.
Did they?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Did you laugh like that or did you get fucked off about it?
No, at the time, the head greenkeeper was on holiday, so I was in charge. And then it was a general manager, had to go and show her. And she was trying to read one of the words they'd scratched in as well. It's a word you wouldn't say. Starts with a C.
Oh,
And she was trying to read
Definitely
it.
say it. Quite a lot, actually.
She was trying to read it, and then she looked at me and said, "What does that say?" And I had to sort of just go, "You don't want to know. I'm not saying that to a woman."
How did you get rid of the cock and balls on the green? Did you try and make it into something else, like a beautiful butterfly?
I tell you what, at first I made it worse because what you do is you want to put like a sand on, like a top dress in, to let it heal. But by scratching that in, obviously you're showing it up even more.
So you've got a bright yellow sandy cock on your green.
No, I think it was more brown, the soil, but it's it was there for a while.
Do you get a slight scarring? So even when fresh grass has grown back, it's ever so slightly different colour to the original grass. So if you knew there was a cock and ball on this green, you could still find it.
Not after a while, it all just disappears, it just fades out. And then when you're putting fertilisers down, everything's getting the same colour. And you're using, when you spray fertilisers, you're using like a colour agent, see where you're going. So then obviously everything's the same colour anyway. So yeah, there's ways of fading it out as well.
Would you fancy stripes on your lawn, Joe?
I've tried several times.
No joy.
I can't do it. I can't. It's so hard. Like I go up the hill, then I turn round, and then I go down the hill along the line that I just did, and then I go up again, and I just keep doing that. And there's like the small remnants of lines, but I'm like, what the fuck? Why don't I just go round and round? Because this isn't working. How do you get the lines?
Well, you just go up and down, opposite directions.
Simple as that, apparently. So why the fuck is it not working then?
Have you got a roller on there?
No.
Oh.
That'll be it then.
That'll be it.
It's to a man wondering why.
Did you hear that? When he went, you got a roll on there? And I went, no. He went, oh. There was a small. Oh, he hasn't got a roll on there. He hasn't got a fucking
It's like
roll
listening
on
to a man complaining he can't paint a picture and then finding out he's not got a paintbrush.
No, I've had some troubles with my lawn over the years.
Moles.
Moles. I've had me issues with the moles, and one of them was one cure for me was to get a 4 metre by 3 metre roll of AstroTurf. You know, like
Right, yeah.
thing you just rolled it. So I put that in front of the patio, just so there was a nice little grassy area bit that the kids could just fall off the patio onto without it being thingy. And it was there for about a month or so, and it started stinking, where the dogs would fucking piss on it, and then it wouldn't. And I was like, "What is that?" And you had to clean. And I didn't realise you can't just put it down like a rug.
Yeah.
Like you have to. If you want if say my garden was that big,
Yeah.
you actually have to do what to it? Build some foundations.
Yeah,
It's not as
pretty
simple
much.
as a
Yeah,
rug.
so I've never done that sort of thing, but yeah, you have to dig it in. It's all be done properly. It's not just a case of you see some people just throw a bit of Astro on grass and you think that's not working.
Brilliant. Could have told me that, wouldn't you? But I remember peeling it back. There was not a single blade of grass left. It all
Yeah.
fucking died off. It was just pure mud.
Yeah, probably after 2 weeks you lose all the grass, I'd say, in the right temperatures.
And then I thought, well, I'm going to have to rectify this. So I'm going to talk you through my process of what I did. I'd like some just chime in if there's any criticism or feedback you'd like to give. So what I did was I got like this. I've got it home at the minute. It looks like a spade, but it's got handles. In fact, it doesn't look anything like a spade.
The spades don't have handles.
No, it's so it's got a handle, and then it's got a roller at the bottom. It's only about that big. How big's that?
A foot.
It's only about a foot wide. It's got a roller with spikes on. I think it's called an aerator.
Aeration.
And I also got some things that you put on the bottom of your shoes with spikes that aerate you. So I'm there walking with these fucking spikes. Oh no, brilliant. And then the roller. So I'm doing that to this mud and then like scraping it all because I wanted to disturb it. Then I got a couple of bags of topsoil and then I'm spreading that all over this area. And then I've got some grass seed and then I'm chucking a load of grass seed down. Then I'm watering in it, and then I put a fence, like a plastic fence around it, so the kids and the dogs stayed off it. Then I put some spikes in the middle of this area with some glittery and like CD type things to keep the birds away.
Okay.
And then I'd regularly water it.
Nearly.
What do you mean nearly?
It's
It's not bad.
Not a bad effort.
Okay, yeah.
I'd have changed something around a little bit. So when you said you spiked it,
Yeah.
I'd have seeded it after you spiked it. So the seed drops into the holes.
Right.
So it's basically.
But I was worried that these holes were too big that the seed would just fuck off down the hole.
It'd be fine.
And then what would happen?
Well, it'd be stuck down a hole.
Then
Lost forever.
Grass. Yeah, but if it goes down like a 3-inch hole, grass can't grow down there, can it? Can it?
do you think?
Grass grows on top, doesn't it?
Just on top.
Well, it fucking does. You chuck your grass seed down and it grows.
Where do you think the roots are?
Just below the top. For fuck's sake. Okay, so next time I do that, so the aerating boots and the thing, any good?
Yeah.
Not really.
I'm not a big fan of the boots. I'm not saying they're no good, but I think you look like a bit of a knob.
You say that, Terry.
Happy to look like that. That's absolutely right.
What about the issue that I've got in my back garden, Terry, is caused by Dursey, my mate Dursey, when his dog comes over.
The issue you've got in your back garden is caused by Dursey.
Dursey's dog Doris.
Oh, sorry.
So Doris comes over and does the dog thing. They go.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've now got some Dursey's Doris holes in the back garden.
Okay.
The boys referred to them as Pepe's trailing leg because if you're playing football and you go over in them, you're on your face.
Yeah.
You get that reference, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
Dursey's Doris holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what should I be filling these holes with? And are there always going to be holes there?
Is the dog there regularly?
Well, he's moved back to London now, so that might be the last. Well, she might come up once. Doris might come up once or twice a year. Keep her out the garden.
Yeah, well, I get a lot of hassle from my mum and dad.
Yeah,
So they always say we should have the perfect lawn because of the job you do.
Yeah.
valid.
But they've got dogs. So I said, you're never going to have a good lawn because you've got dogs. So that's what I tell them.
Why?
I've
Because
got
of
a
the dog piss, the fucking...
Oh, everything. They run around, they slide. Like you say, my dog scratches the surface and it's just like, what's the point? I'm going to be there all day, every day. So I just gave up.
So the key to a good lawn is to not have dogs then?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, let's say that Tom's garden hasn't got dogs and not going to have dogs, but it has got these holes and he wants those holes repaired. I, from my expert knowledge here, Terry, would chuck some sand in it.
Oh.
Sand? What, from the beach or just...
Like the play sand you can get.
Play sand?
Play sand, and then some soil, some topsoil on top, and then chuck some seed on it. Thoughts?
Close. But again, it all depends what your garden is. I've got a friend that's got a clay. It's a lot of clay in his soil, right? So everything dries up really quickly, cracks. So what you want to do is try and basically get sand, more of a sandy soil into a clay, because clay's not great. It's not good for your lawn. It's not good for watering. It holds water and then it cracks really easy. So it depends, again, of what your soil is in your garden. But if you've got an okay soil, yeah, just get some topsoil, put it on I'd put a little bit in the holes, depending how deep they are, bit of seed, a bit more over the top. That protects it from the birds, they can't see the seed.
Clever.
And then,
Oh,
Clever.
fuck. So that's it. Because I would be out there and like checking it in the morning, ready to water it and all that lot before the sun came out so it doesn't burn it. And the birds, there'd be fucking loads of them
Yeah.
just there pecking the seed
they'll
away.
be
And
there
I'm
all
like,
day.
what's going on here? How'd you
Yeah.
stop the birds? I thought my CDs, like the reflections, was going to work. That didn't work.
Yeah, I always put a thin bit of soil
On
over the seed, and then you can't really see the seed then.
Yeah, but how's the sun getting to it?
Well, it's fine, it's seed, it'll grow.
What?
When you
Does it need Does it need Does it need sun? Does it need sun?
so,
Does it need sun?
so have you ever done a vegetable patch or anything like that?
What do you think the answer to that is?
No.
Fucking hell. Go on.
Well, you put seeds like if you're growing carrots or something, you put
Yeah.
them in the bottom of the pot, don't you? A couple of inches below the soil. They're not in the sun. They still work. Potatoes, they go
Yeah,
in,
but
in the ground.
yeah. Oh God, he's got a really valid point. I didn't think you needed sun for them things because they're root vegetables, aren't they? So they grow
Keep going.
under. They grow under the ground.
Keep going under, yeah.
Yeah, and
But there is
but
something.
grass grows on top, so grass needs sun.
Yeah,
One-
but potatoes, they're not totally invisible, are they?
What do you mean they're not?
Well, they're not. There is many parts of the potato are above the ground.
How many parts? You never see a potato above a ground.
You see the parts of the potato.
Yeah, the
Parts.
leafy bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fuck. Right, so that's that quick. Long and short of it is, I can stop the birds by putting some seed on this topsoil and then putting some thin layer of soil
Yeah.
on top to cover it.
Yeah.
Because apparently my grass doesn't need sun.
Well, it does need sun. But the seed.
You two fuckers are just they're taking the piss out of me.
You can still get the effects of the sun just below the top.
You're getting that warmth there, aren't you? The warmth.
Okay.
Hence, not a lot of stuff grows in the winter. You don't get a lot of growth. But you do in the summer.
If Joey's putting seed down, Terry, talk to us about different types of grass. What sort of grass should Joe be looking for?
Depends what you use your lawn for. So if you've got your kids running around all the time, you want a hardy bit of grass, don't you? Something that's wear tolerant.
So there's different types of grass.
There's hundreds, thousands.
Of
The science.
different types or just blades? Because I'm sure there's more than thousands of blades. Of
Yeah,
grass.
there's 1,000 types of different grasses. The science behind it is way over my head. You know, they're mixing grasses together to create like the perfect grass for different situations. So again, you go back to golf courses, on the green, you don't want a thick blade because it's slowing the ball up. So you want a really small blade of grass, a thin blade.
So there's on a golf course, there's different types of grass.
Yeah.
It's not just cut differently.
No, a green will be like really small bladed grass because you want the ball to roll quick and fast and true. Whereas on rugby, football, you want a wear tolerant grass. So that would be a thicker blade, and it'd be, you can get things that are more drought tolerant grasses, things like that. There's so many, there's thousands. It's mad. The science behind it is mad.
Right, Joe, let's get different scenarios for your garden usage then. I will start off, Terry, with Joe wants to walk barefooted over his lawn with Daisy. Best grass for that?
On your lawn, I'd probably go like more of a perennial rye. That's most perennial rye grasses is what you'll see and what you'll have on sports pitches.
That's so apt because I like nothing more than having my perennium played with. So
Indoors or out?
great. My perennium on the perennial rye.
What other usage, Joe? Suggest a different usage. You're not just walking barefoot across the grass.
I've just suggested a different use.
Apart from massaging your stinky bridge.
Okay. Well, Jasper plays football on the
again-
front grass bit. So I'd need different sections. That would be a harder grass, would it?
Yeah, but that'd be again a similar perennial rye. That's you want it like sort of big wear tolerant leaf. That's the most common sort of grass seed you'll get. You know, if you go into your local garden centres, most of it will be perennial rye. I say when it changes, I say the most of the ones I've dealt with is I think it's like brown bent grass seed, and it's tiny. Literally, you can lose it on your finger. It's that tiny, but that's what you have on like golf greens. So you want something really small.
So is that the
blade.
small? I was just about to ask how small is the smallest blade that you can cut it to? Like,
Oh, as in
what's the lengthwise? How small can you make this grass? Like,
it's all about stress levels as well.
your stress levels,
No, the grass's stress levels.
right?
So
What the fuck's the grass thinking about? What, just because he's panicking like fuck about
You might think it's
you
all
chopping
over.
his head off in a minute? Like, oh god, constantly thinking, when am I going to get chopped up again?
well, the bigger the leaf, the more healthier in theory the grass is, isn't it? Because it can get more like light, it can get more sun,
Yeah.
more water. But if you're taking it like we're saying, like tiny, like they do on golf greens, you can stress them out by doing too much work on them, and you're stressing them out, and that can bring on diseases, and that's when you'll get golf diseases, basically golf course diseases.
Golf diseases.
Well,
What sort of
What
disease?
disease? So there's loads. Fusarium's quite a popular one.
Fusarium.
What
What happens with
happened?
that?
Fusarium's like, it basically kills off little round circles, but it can go big. It could destroy a whole green if you leave it without.
So they look like the fairy circles.
No, it's fairy ring.
Ah.
What's the fairy?
You know when you just get a ring in the grass and it's a different colour,
Yeah, fairy ring.
concentric circle.
This is where a dog's pissed, isn't it? No.
No, it's whole. So it sort of like looks healthy in the middle.
Yeah.
And you see like this big circle. They can be all small circles, big circles. It's usually like fairy rings.
Right.
But there's loads of diseases.
What's the worst one? What's doomsday?
They all, to be fair, Fusarium, if you leave it, so if you spotted it, early signs, you go and spray for it, cure it, basically. But if you leave it maybe 2-3 weeks, yeah, you could be losing your golf greens.
Really?
Yeah.
Why have golf courses never considered going down the plastic course route?
Good question in a way, but but it's never gonna.
In a way.
I'm going to back you up here,
Good
Charlie.
question. In a way.
Well, we've got artificial rugby pitches now with the 4G technology.
And they are actually,
We'll get into that after the
yeah,
ad break. But so we've got artificial rugby pitches, football pitches, yes, at an amateur level. So yeah, why not artificial?
So you'd have like
green for golf?
you can have crazy golf sort of basically artificial, isn't it? But it's not great. It's the cost of a cost of doing a golf course artificial. That'd be crazy money, millions
that would
money.
be mental. But what
Yeah.
about then just the greens? So if you didn't have to worry, to stop you stressing out these blades of grass all the time, so
Yeah.
they're not shitting themselves
Yeah.
about when they're next cut, you just get in a load of fake blades that don't get stressed.
Yeah.
They're just happy there. Like, I'm just going to stay the same all the time.
It's never going to be as good.
Oh,
It's never going to be as good, is it?
well, I don't know. Just might be.
It's going to be slower. The ball roll's going to be slower because there's more resistant. It's basically sort of like plastic grass, isn't it? There's more resistant. Whereas real grass is soft, isn't it? Really soft.
You could massage some coconut oil into it daily.
Aloe vera.
Aloe vera. Who's she?
So shit.
So shit. I think we should have a break. Then we'll talk some more plastic pitches after the ads. Hello, I'm Joe Marler from the Joe Marler Show. We now do socks that you can also wear on your hands, apparently. And the cool thing about these socks are, not only are they jazzy and got my face on them for some ridiculous reason. Stand for socks. Every pair you buy of the Joe Marler Show socks will then donate a pair of warm antibacterial ones to someone who desperately needs them. So go on, go buy some. Not sure why he's thrown a pair at me. If you buy them, They won't. They will come in the post in a normal way, and they won't be thrown at you. Stay classy. Where insert the place that you live at now. Hit the link below if you want a pair of socks that you can then pretend to be a cat and lick yourself.
So those were the ads. Joe, just give me a brief summary of your feelings towards 4G pitches from a rugby props perspective.
Dog shit.
Because?
They're fucking dreadful, mate. The burns you get on it, the impact that you get from it, the grip is too grippy. Some of the injuries that are caused because the boots get stuck in it because there's not that natural give. They're fucking shit. I just don't know who on earth gave it the green light. In fact, I sort of semi-do. I think we gave it the green light as players. Like, you have to sign, are you happy to play? But you kind of had to. Because if you say, no, I'm not happy to play, they're just like, all right, we won't pick you then. Or, do you know what I mean? So, and I understand it from a community point of view that they need something that's good for the community and you can do all sorts on it all the time. But it's not right, is it? Like, Terry, how do you feel about fake pitches?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. So I play football on a artificial pitch, and sliding on that, it takes about 2-3 weeks for my knees to heal.
Ouch.
Literally, it just takes the skin off. And the physio I used to see years ago, he reckons it's really bad for your knees because there's no give in the ground because it's just a hard surface. So I personally don't really like them, but I can see why they do them. And that is cost saving massively.
What I'm trying to think of the pitch at Twickenham, and loads of different football pitches have got it now. Where is it? Some of it's real and some of it's fake. What Deso? Have you heard of Deso? Is it called a Deso?
I think it is.
Is it called Deso? Where they weave every like fourth blade is a fake blade.
Never heard of it.
Have I just made something up?
No, it does sound real.
What the fuck is a Deso pitch?
I think they've got it at Murrayfield because they had all the problems with the worms, didn't they?
Oh, they had that
Do you remember?
disease.
Yeah.
They had one of those fairy diseases.
Yeah.
Where they had loads of these worms that were turning into fairies and then eating the blades of
Eating
grass.
the blades.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. You fucking swat.
No, it's a cost-effective thing, like especially probably more in rugby. So especially when you're doing scrums, I imagine soft ground that rips up a lot when you're in a scrum. You can see it on TV when you watch. So it's never going to do that on an artificial pitch, is it? So you think they've got nothing to repair afterwards. So think of the less labour, costs, materials. There's not much to repair.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't get the fact that it doesn't give way. So therefore, if you get caught in the wrong position, your foot can't move, or
it's not natural.
And then you think about the cost of repairing someone's Achilles because that's snapped.
Oh yeah, totally.
And I'm like, fuck off. Just let us have this beautiful grass with lovely soil. Whoever invented it all intended it to be. And it just does my nut in, really.
Yeah.
Really does my nut in. Talking of soils, like what sort of soil are we thinking about? Because the time I had moles, and it would bring all this soil up, and
it was really nice soil.
Got this guy, the mole man round to the thingy, and he's going through all this. He says, "Cool, you've got nice soil here, boy." And I'm like, "What?" And he's holding the soil, and he says, "Cool, you've got nice soil here, boy." Yeah, it's like thing. I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Fucking nice soil. You've got nice soil around here." What do you mean? What does he mean by that? Is it different types of soil?
Yeah, that's going back to what I was saying earlier. So if you would have had clay, more of a clay, it'd be horrible. It'd be like literally in your hands. It's all you'd squeeze it between your fingers, things like that. It's horrible stuff. So you sound like you've got more maybe of a sandy soil, which is free drainage, basically.
Ooh.
I bet your grass doesn't get that very wet and boggy then.
Well, I don't know actually because it's on a hill, so it might do at the bottom, but I never go to the bottom. I'm
You
only,
text Days and get her to go down the bottom of the garden.
I'm only at the top. I don't go down.
Can't be asked.
It's too.
Yeah, if you've got the perfect soil to have in your lawn or in any sports pitches is a sandy soil because it's free drainage basically. It's never going to hold water, so it's the best stuff.
Are you better off having a garden that is too wet or too dry?
Oh, that's a tough question. I'd probably say too dry, because if it's too wet, you can do something about it. You can put drainage in. If it's too dry, then you can just water it. So, so it's if that sounded stupid, but yeah.
Did you feel like you had the answer to that question in your head, Joe?
Yeah.
So essentially, whatever way it was, you'd do something different about it anyway.
You do
So if
the
it was
opposite.
too wet, you'd dry it out. And if it was too dry, you'd wet it.
But it's easier to water, isn't it?
Oh, so... you got any... How did you get into groundskeeping?
If the honest truth is my mum made me go get a job when I
Oh.
dropped out of college.
Right.
So just went literally, I started playing golf. So she started writing in to get me off my arse.
Yeah.
So that's how I got
Did you have
into
to go and get any qualifications, or like,
Yeah,
is it a learn on the job sort of thing?
You're always going to learn more on the job, but yeah, there's loads. You can go into master's degrees in greenkeeping. I don't think a lot of people realise how much science there is in the job. So I did a level 2 sports turf, which was 2 years, like 1 day a week going to college, and then did another level 3 while I was at the golf course as well. But there's so many other things, that are all linked to golf courses. So you need your pesticide spraying certificates to spray chemicals. You can't just go and do it. You have to go and get a license.
What?
You have to do it in an exam.
Why can't you just chuck whatever you want down?
Because it'd be against the law.
It's a good answer.
It is a good answer, but why is it against the law if you're not causing any harm? Or does it cause harm?
Well, it could cause harm, couldn't it? If you don't know what you're using and how to apply it at the right rates, you could be putting loads of this chemical down and damaging the environment. So it's quite crucial to know what you're doing. And some of the stuff is really harmful.
Is it?
Yeah, the only thing saying about chemicals is they are going the other way. So they are banning a lot of chemicals, which actually makes the job a lot harder. So when we mentioned worm casts, there used to be a really good chemical to suppress worms. So you'd never get worm casts on a golf green once you sprayed it.
Vegans get involved, did they?
Yeah, they were there trying to save worms.
I bet you need.
Can't be suppressing worms like that.
No, you need a worm though.
They are good. They're
Are they good for aerating?
Yeah, they're creating holes. But on a golf green, if you don't want worm casts every day, the ball hitting the worm cast, stopping the ball, it looks ugly, it smears when you cut it. So they're not great.
I've lost it. A worm cast?
Yeah.
What's a worm cast?
The worms create that little bit of like soil on the top of the surface. You must have seen a worm cast. No?
Looks a bit like.
They're not worm poo.
It's-
Is it? It's not worm poo?
No.
Fucking hell, 31 years. 31 years.
You
I
thought there were
that was
loads-
worm shit. And I just thought because they eat mud that it's just mud. So
Looks like a muddy shit.
yeah, so it's just worm shit, but it's mud. So I've never been worried about it. So I haven't had to worry about it really anyway.
No.
It's not worm shit.
No, it's
called worm
it's
cast.
It's not like dog poo. If it goes in your eye, it's going to blind you or anything
Right,
like that.
okay.
So, yeah.
All
It's
right,
safe.
okay.
But yeah.
I always look at it a bit like, oh, it's worm. Oh, fucking hell. The realisation of this now.
Amazing.
There's loads of worm cast about. Yeah, anyway, sorry.
But, yeah, so you can't spray for them. Well, there are other chemicals, but they're not as good now. So just trying to get around the regulations has made the job a lot harder. So now you've got guys going out there every day on a golf course with something that's called like a switch. So it's basically a big cane, and you're whipping the worm casts off.
What?
So you think you've got 2 guys maybe spending 2 hours a day doing
They're
that.
whipping worm casts.
Yeah. whipping them with a big cane. Like if you get one in the leg, it bloody hurt.
They're all day. No, your neck. Okay, fine.
What's the technique? Are you going sort of top down to squash the cast or sideways to try?
Sideways, you whip
trim
like
it?
that whipping action across the surface.
You've not got a machine for that, no.
No, not really.
So I would be doing that. It would be the single mower getting the little big blades again, or doing what's it called?
Switching.
Switching.
Yeah.
The originality of these these groundskeeping names are just through the roof. Absolutely through. With help me on this. With like sports pitches, probably less so of golf courses because you don't play in the snow, do you? Unless you do. Do people play in the snow?
Not really, no.
Why is it such a struggle for mainly rugby? Actually, most football pitches are heated, aren't they? With snow and groundskeepers getting on, not having to scrape all the snow off or put things. I'm like, why don't, if it snows in the morning of that game, just chuck a load of sand down. I mean, chuck a load of salt down. Is that not going to work?
That's not good.
Not good.
You wouldn't want to put salt on the grass.
What?
That's
But
not
you
good
get rid
for-
of the snow.
Yeah, and you'd probably also get rid of all the grass over time.
Why? What's that doing to?
Well, it would just burn it. Salt will burn the grass. So if you put a lot of salt down, say on your driveway when it's icy, you'll probably notice you don't get many like bits of moss, weeds, and things like that.
Oh, every day is a learning day. I'm going back and sorting my fucking patio right now.
Sorting it up.
Sorting it.
Yeah.
As in salting. SALT.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like so. If you put salt, if you see it mainly more on moss. So if you put a load of salt on moss, and like a week later you'll see it'd be burnt off. So yeah, you wouldn't want that on your grass.
Oh, that'd be why they don't put
Yeah.
salt on the pitches then. That'd be why he's answered that one good enough, isn't it?
What are the other creatures that can really mess up your golf course or your lawn then? So we've done moles, worms
Yeah.
with their casts. Joe, what else?
There's this is a good one for you. There's a bug basically called a Schaefer grub.
A Schaefer grub.
Schaefer grub.
Yeah,
It's a Schaefer grub.
it's like
Drives cars, does it?
It's-
Brilliant. Got to laugh at that one. You can come back.
It's basically how I describe it is a massive maggot with like little legs.
Oh,
That's how I describe it. It's about
remind you of anything, Joe?
Really, really does.
so they're under the ground. They lay eggs and things like that. And they're like a beetle form as well. So they eat the roots of the grass. So they're not just killing the grass, but as soon as they come up near the surface, birds and things like that are pecking for them. So then they're destroying the surface by trying to get to them.
Double trouble.
That's quite a bad one.
What are they called? Schaefer beetle.
Well, it's a Schaefer grub. But
Schaefer
yeah,
grub.
yeah.
It sounds horrible. Do you know what I mean?
They're horrible looking.
Really
things.
aloof and twattish.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a Schaefer grub.
It's a Schaefer grub.
Oh, I'm a Schaefer
I
grub.
think it's German. Schaefer grub.
German Schaefer
Yeah,
grub.
it's a
Nothing
Schaefer.
against Germans, but more specifically against German Schaefer grubs.
It's a Schaefer grub.
Okay, perfect.
But
How
yeah,
do you cope with them?
Again, I say it was a few years ago, but used to spray basically chemical for them, kill them off, and that's how you protect your greens from them. Yeah, that's not something you want. But I've seen pictures of some golf courses destroyed by badgers, all sorts of things like that.
What do the badgers do?
Just rip up the surface for like grubs and things like that. And you think how big a badger is, it could ruin areas very quickly.
Yeah, but on that, you got to really remember this. Like, badgers don't know that that's a golf course.
No, they don't.
They're not sitting there going, oh, fuck. Stephen's teeing off on the 17th here. They're just going, oh, there's a nice moist patch that I want to go look for some grubs in. So, I think you should work at a golf club that allows nature to take its way. Imagine that for a golf course, that everything's just overgrown.
Yeah.
I mean, you're never finding your ball and you're not fucking putting a single thing, but literally a golf course that you make and then you don't mow. That's, I think, where the money's at.
So I've been to a couple golf courses, more like down the New Forest, and I've played a couple down there, and they just have wild horses all over the place. It's great. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And they probably don't have to cut that much because the animals are doing it for them. So apart from the greens, but then you're going to get hoof marks all over your greens.
Oh, true.
Oh,
Tricky.
so you're not loving that. That's doing.
Yeah, I quite like nature though. I quite like seeing it around.
What's your anxiety levels around aliens? And then potentially landing on your greens, on your thing, and causing all those circle marks and what are they called?
Crop circles?
Crop circles. Do you think about that often, daily, weekly?
Yeah, I probably do.
Yeah.
Because I just think how rich I'd be, and then I could just retire.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's not an anxiety thing. It's more of a want and a will
Yeah,
for an alien to land, cause a crop circle,
I could take some photos,
and then you
make
go.
my money.
Have you ever considered actually just making some fake crop circles, doing that, and making some money from that?
No, I'd probably lose my job that way though, wouldn't I? If I got found out.
Oh yeah.
If it isn't aliens, what's the worst thing that's happened to your course? No one's ever got on a joyridden round it, have they?
Yeah, you get that.
Do you?
Oh, you
Scum
look
of
at his
the
eyes.
earth.
His eyes
Scum
turn.
of the
They've
earth.
turned. They're like fucking. Yeah, you do get that.
You get some nasty stuff. It's more the first golf course was that it's like a pay and play course, and you could get on there. You know, the area it was, you could get cars on there. You'd find burnt out cars. Yeah, it's not good. I think the worst things back then, some underwear was found on the golf course, ladies' underwear.
I'd be more concerned about a burnt out car than some ladies' underwear, but
I would be more concerned that we think we found a human poo in the golf hole.
What?
brilliant.
Someone's had a shit in a golf hole.
Yeah.
For some reason, I immediately just pictured your sister.
Thanks. Thanks very much.
Some reason, I just immediately pictured your sister
Look, saying it again doesn't make it better.
shitting down the golf hole
You're picturing my sister shitting in a golf hole.
because of the shit story that was
Oh, yeah.
at school.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I just think it's something she'd do. Is it something she'd do?
Probably not. Flag in or flag out, Terry?
Well, I don't know. Well, they would.
No, what's the flag in or what's the flag out?
Oh, right. I thought you meant when they were doing their business.
What is this?
But I might have used it as a wiping technique.
Why the fuck? Oh, you mean the top end of the
not
flag,
not the
pole.
shaft.
Why are you using the pole to wipe your arms? You're going to get no fucking purchase off of that.
Do you think you could have a shit in a golf hole if you had to? Because in terms of accuracy,
Easily.
really,
Yeah.
straight in.
Well, actually, my
Any
anus,
of it
my
lip out?
anus would probably swallow the hole itself. It's probably, bigger than some of the damage I've done to mine. No, easy. Although it's just the flatness of you're just hole in hole, aren't you? Whereas sometimes you're used to
Elevation or
elevation, your legs being bent.
It's quite a small hole, though.
Yeah, but if you're directly on it and you're just sat down like a teddy bear, you just sat on it rather than trying to squat and aim it. You know, like in those foreign toilets you get where there's just a hole in the ground,
Yeah.
and you've got to squat and try and aim it into it. I wouldn't do that. I'd just sit down like a teddy bear and put my hole in the hole and make it easier. wouldn't it? Although if it's a fucking tidy pile, then it's filling up pretty quick. How deep are those holes?
That's what I was about to say. Depending on how much you eat, it's going to fill up quick.
Oh, it's gonna.
It's, I don't know, I'm trying to think, probably 5 inches deep, I suppose, something like that.
Well,
so it's more of like a tertiary poo. It wouldn't be your first one. Terry, I would like to know a slightly geeky golf question. Talk to me about the speed of greens.
So that's something you measure called a stimp meter. So it's like a massive ruler in a way, how to try and describe it. And you have the ball is perched on a hole at the top. You lift it up until the ball releases, and then you measure 3 golf balls, the distance they've travelled. I can't remember to say, it was years when I did this. And then there's a calculation, and it gives you the stimp meter reading. So like a pretty fast green would be a stint meter reader of like 12 or 13. So, and then that's how you get your stint meter readings, and that's how you tell people how fast your greens are.
What? How fast?
Quite geeky, that, isn't it?
I enjoyed that chat.
I did as well. But I just pictured us being on the course together and going, oh, got the 9th coming up here. How quick's the green?
It's a 14, Joe. It's a 14 on the stint meter.
Can you get a 14 on the stint meter?
I think you can.
Right.
think you
Okay.
can.
So would 14 be quick?
That would be lightning.
Fucking
What's Augusta?
lightning quick.
Augusta will be quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember.
Dude.
But it'd be like 13, 14, sort of like.
What's
the
like a
top end.
one-er? What's a one-er then? Like,
A 1,
is it just like?
it'd be like throwing the ball really hard and it goes nowhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
well, it's
okay.
bottom. It's on average. I think ours on average are always around 9, 10.
That's the sweet spot.
So that's an average sort of course. I'd say like 10ish. So as soon as you rack them up and get them up to like 12, 13s.
What's the obsession at golf clubs with fucking thick grass, long grass
Rough.
In the rough.
rough?
The rough.
What's the obsession with rough?
Well, you've got to make it like it's an obstacle, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I
basically?
get that, but can't you just have like a thick rough that's like a couple of inches taller
Yeah.
than the other parts,
Again,
where you can still find your fucking ball,
First cut.
rather than the 4-foot shit that you go in there, mate, you ain't finding it for fucking
Yeah.
life.
So again, that's down to the species of grasses. So you'd basically try and seed a grass that's more thin, and then I totally get where you're getting from not just from a working point, from a golfing point. Yeah, you want to find your ball. You want to be penalised, but you want to find your ball.
Yeah, fucking
And
cost me
so-
an arm and a leg, these balls.
Yeah. So when you go in that thick stuff, you're never finding it. So you want thin species of grass that you can see your ball from, and you can still play it. But yeah, that's all about trying to seed it. Basically, you'd have to reseed it all.
Next time I pop to Wellshurst, I'll be saying you need a new species of grass.
Yeah, nice.
Fuckers.
But some of the, I was actually talking yesterday to one of the boys I used to work with at the golf course, and he actually said some of the England rugby boys were down playing where I used to work,
Oh, yeah, where do you used to work?
Chobham,
Oh, yeah.
but he doesn't know anything, so he
Yeah.
just went,
Anything.
well, about rugby. Yeah, he just went, I don't know who they were,
Yeah.
but yeah, you get celebrities and all sorts down there. So.
At yours or old course?
No, the Chobham one where I used to work,
Was it a nice one?
average.
give or take.
It's a members course.
Who's
it's
the
all right.
who's the biggest that you've had?
Probably Deck from Anton Deck.
Oh,
Oh, specifically Deck.
Yeah.
Not but so they don't go everywhere together.
No, I thought they both played, but I think it's his father-in-law's a member down there,
is it
so he's popped down there 2 or 3 times.
decent player?
I don't know actually. I don't think he's that great. I hope he doesn't listen to this.
Definitely doesn't. Don't worry about that.
How do you get as a groundsman? How do you get treated by members? Like, do people?
Yeah,
It's a bit like the shop assistant thing, isn't it? Or you work in a cafe, and some people just pretend you're invisible.
yeah. So it's hit or miss. You get really nice people, really nice members that will literally chat to you, stop and chat, and you get people that look at you like you're crap on their shoe, which I've never really understood because you're prepping something for them to do. So why look at them like that? Some of the things you get blamed for is when they hit a bad shot, and they'll look at you like it's your fault. They'll be like, "It's your fault. You shouldn't have been there." And you're like, "No, it's your fault."
I shouldn't have been. You should. It's your fault because you don't like people watching you, fucking pussy.
But yeah, I've had arguments with members before where they'll just hit a ball. Someone would be working on a green, you'd be doing maintenance, and someone's hit a ball straight into them, like,
No.
landing next to them. You go up there and say, "What are you doing?" You could have killed the guy. You hit him in the head. A golf ball can kill someone. And they just go, "Well, you shouldn't be there." And that's their answer. And you're sort of like, well, we're trying to do something for you.
Is there any point? Is there any point where you've, when you're like mowing around, and then someone's getting ready to take their tee shot, and you recognise him. You know, oh, he's that fucking helmet. Here they are. And you then so you turn it off as if to be like, okay, you pull to the side, don't you? You turn it off, and you're like, and then you accidentally lean on the horn or something like that. You go, oh fucking hell! I'm really sorry. I'll be doing that all day long.
There's things I don't really want to admit to it, but there's things I've done.
Don't worry, we'll use a different name on this section. So we've got a new groundsman. This is Groundskeeper Tony. Good, original. Tony, have you, what sort of nasty things do you do to members?
So if there's someone that I really don't like, or someone that is horrible, literally that you see their ball, you can kick it in the rough. They can't see. They put it from the tee around the corner. You can kick it in the rough, kick it in a bunker.
Nice.
Tread it down in a bunker. So it's deep down there. Things like that. Or they might have said, oh, I can't find my ball. You know where it is. You just go, no, I didn't see it. And drive off.
I just love it. That could be just like a little show in itself, can't it? Just let's go with Terry round the thing.
Tony, go with Tony.
We're going with Tony round the courses of England and hiding members' balls. You seen them? No, mate. Sorry about that. Fucking wanker. Here we go.
Yeah, that's what I don't get, because you just think there's so many things we can do. You know, you can put the hole cups in horrible positions.
Yeah.
So if, I don't know, you might see them coming, you're changing the holes. You can go and put it on a horrible slope. You know they're going to 3 or 4 putt. You can just go and put it on there.
Look
Amazing
at the power
pitch
you've
up.
got.
Yes.
Look how like your eyes lighting up like that. Fucking hell. I'm going to make this a 15 Richter scale. What was it?
Richter scale, yeah.
Stint
Meter.
me. This is going to be a 15, motherfuckers. Oh, let's slow it down. Let's sprinkle some worm cast that we collected earlier. Just smear it on, slow as fuck. Oh, just the power you'd have as a groundsman. Oh, I'm fucking doing that. That's brilliant.
Have you ever been hit by a golf ball?
Yeah. Yeah. Early days. I think I was only about 19.
Explains a lot, yeah.
It wasn't in the face. I was born with this face.
Where did it hit you?
Bang on the shoulder.
Oh,
Ooh.
no. Yeah, it does. You are holding it.
Yeah.
How did you react?
I didn't know if I wanted to cry or pass out, if I'm honest.
Was it painful?
Oh, yeah. A full driver. Someone smashing a driver, and it's basically, from what I remember, it was like a chili dipper, what I call them. It's
Explain. Chili dip.
So a driver, you know, if someone hits a nice drive off the tee, it goes 250 yards. This is like, it loops like downwards. So it's elevated tee,
Yeah.
and I call them chili dippers.
Yeah.
And it's chili dipped onto my shoulder on the vehicle. And luckily I was with someone, because I did think I was going to cry or pass out. And then, yeah, he had a go at the guy, which I did feel sorry for the guy, because it's not his fault, really, is it?
It's a sweet
An
fucking
accident.
chili dipper, mate.
Yeah.
You know, didn't do it on purpose. You ever been hit by a golf ball, Tom?
I remember playing at one course where there was an aggressive group behind us and they started launching golf balls when they shouldn't have done. And this is why I asked Terry how he reacted, because I was playing with a very mild-mannered gentleman, very nice bloke who never lost his temper.
Golfer Gary, was he?
Golfer Gary. He went absolutely fucking mental when someone basically hit the ball between us. He pretty much legged it down the fairway, waving his wedge round his head. I saw a totally new side to him.
Well, you're meant to shout 4, aren't you?
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't have enough time. Like that one, the guy didn't have enough time. So you sort of think, well, it's just an accident. But yeah, there's a lot of people that won't shout 4. Again, if you're a greenkeeper, probably don't shout 4. They probably want to hit you.
Terry, have you got anything at all that you want to talk about? Anything? Hang on, Tom. You got any other questions?
No, I'm all questioned out.
Anything else you want to just get off your chest? You know, this is your.
Does it sound like I hate members?
I just meant in general, mate. You can talk whatever you want, and let's just go, because I could sit and talk to you for fucking hours. I would absolutely love to work with you at your golf course. I guarantee I would have so much fun all day long. A, hiding members' balls, but B, finding out about all the thousands of different species of grass that me and you could, you know, plant here and plant there and that lot. But
Yeah.
you've been absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for
No.
coming on, mate.
No, thank you for having me. It's been great. Thank you.
I fucking love him.